Welcome to Prestige Encounters Beyond the Dice, our weekly Q&A session where we discuss the characters and the lore of the world of Zolna. The questions we answer every week for Beyond the Dice are sourced from members of our audience, as well as our Prestige Encounters cast. Tonight we are joined again by Isaac, who plays Naoki. Hi, Isaac.
Hi.
We are also joined by Chloe, who plays Emmeline. Hi, Chloe.
That's me.
Yeah.
Hi.
And your host, my name's Guy. I play Sanasha. And so that's kind of where we're going to get started. So we had a really fun session of Prestige Encounters last week. It's kind of interesting. You haven't had a chance to talk to you, Chloe, about Emmeline's experiences over the last couple weeks, because we've had a lot of big moments, deaths and resurrections and dramatic moments, and while Emmeline wasn't driving some of those moments, she was definitely engaged in a lot of them. So yeah, we'll kind of touch at that, and we do actually have one viewer submitted question, so I think we'll start with that instead of talking about the session, even though I've done all this setup. A man named Kyle said, what obstacles do you see the party hitting this next session? Which is a very, very broad question, but
It's definitely a broad question, but I mean, it opens up to a lot of things being broad, right? I mean, we're going to be heading to the woods, right, to go find beans.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
So that's going to be pretty exciting. There is also something within the Brylan Woods that we're heading to, I believe, potentially, yes, the trial. So that will be a great opportunity, but it's not necessarily a problem. So I think some of the problems and conflicts that we're going to be seeing is going to be involving time, especially with Kresna. And kind of just all of the current political problems that are happening will continue to happen. And I think that's going to put strain on the party.
Yeah. I mean, and strain seems to be kind of the regular name of the game. I'm going to not have you answer that, Isaac, because I think Chloe kind of laid out all of the the parts very well.
Sorry.
There. No, it's great. Oh gosh, my brain stopped working. So Emmeline's been part of a lot of difficult moments with the party lately. Her struggles with Diablo, her kind of sometimes bullying struggles with Sanasha, and issues with Percy. And he seems to have had really what was a very dramatic discussion with Percy in the last session, kind of getting down to their own different perspectives. Do you have a little bit, not a direct question, do you have anything you'd like to say about kind of how you feel about the direction it happened? Because there's been some conflicts, but also maybe a potential beginning of a reconciliation with members of the party happening.
Yes. I think it's important to maybe look at real life, right? When you have a friendship with someone, you would hope that you can come to them with criticism, maybe not criticism, but constructive, right? Constructive criticism. Be like, hey, you did something really delusional, or something that hurt me, or something that I don't morally agree with, and we need to work on that. And I think that can be applied to the group and kind of their friendships as well. They're trying to work out how to communicate with each other. Emmeline is a very, very weird person. She thinks in a very, very strict way, a very binary way. And as time goes on, and as she seems to solve a lot of problems, maybe she does get in her own head a little bit, thinking her decisions are the best. And they aren't, she's human. She's literally human. So she does not always make the right choice. But I do think that leads to some of the conflict with people like Diablo and Percy, who can maybe see things in a bit more objective lens.
Yeah. Yeah. And Sanasha, who is as apt at communicating how she thinks and feels as Emmeline is.
Yeah, they both have masters in communications.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, they've got like the absolutely epic charisma scores, and are really good at dealing with people, and have never admitted to any issues. And is that one of the reasons? Like, I know that Naoki is quite charming, but he can be a little out of touch with how to communicate with the world. Do you think that's why Emmeline and Naoki kind of get along well?
I think so,
Yes,
yeah. I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
You can go for it. Go for it.
Oh, no, you go for it.
I mean, I just see Naoki, and you can correct me, I see him as the kind of guy who really goes off vibes. And it's really just what you're putting out into the air, your energy. Um, and if you're rocking with Naoki, he's rocking with you.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, and if not, he'll just kind of stick to the back line and keep you up, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and it's one of the interesting things is like we've got this like Naoki who functions off vibes and Evelyn who is always thinking through the problem, and Sanasha is so bad at relationships that she wants to trust Naoki because she trusts the druids because she's come to. But she has lots of reason to think that she can't really trust Evelyn. Right? Like those moments of if I jump off this edge, are you gonna catch me? And,
But she does.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. They've had their trust fall. The question is, can they develop? And I feel like, do you think that even though that was such a small moment, that bathtub seemed to be the most normal conversation they've had in a long time?
I mean, it has. They've had a couple of solid moments. I think Sanasha and Emmeline's relationship is much more similar to the ocean, and it has waves,
Yeah.
or like a lake or something. It ebbs and flows in terms of how well they get along.
Yeah. And whatever decisions they disagree on in that moment.
I mean, I have a question for the both of you if we're going
Yeah.
to be talking kind of about trusting Emmeline.
Mm-hmm.
Is there necessarily a point in the campaign that you can pinpoint where your character did not trust Emmeline like the most? Was there a point in which the distrust was at the highest? Or has it been kind of plateauing ever since she's been maybe shooting innocent people with firebolts or sending strange messages to people?
I'll let you go first, Isaac.
I think Naoki's trust has, as you said, like ebbed and flowed, but once they finally had that conversation where it was like, I think once, this might sound kind of a little weird, but once Valerie died, I feel like, and then Emmeline died, and we brought her back, I think that's when Naoki's trust truly, for Emmeline, like, skyrocketed upward.
Mm-hmm.
Especially after that special talk they had where it was like, I trust you a lot, Emmeline.
Yeah, that was a good talk for them.
Yeah. Sanasha, I think, is in a tough place with Emmeline because I think she wants to trust everyone in the party. But their relationship has been, as party members, has been rocky kind of from the start. Kind of jumping in with her awkward handling of Emmeline's grief of losing Cram and losing Valerie. And I'd say probably, I mean, if there's any moment where her trust would have been the most, at its lowest point, would have been when she slapped her. Because I think at that point she had good cause to not trust that Emmeline was fully on her side anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she definitely crossed the line there, and she did it for what she felt like was a good reason, but it doesn't make it like, that's like one move away from PvP, right? Like,
right.
Yeah, in another game, it would have probably led to like an actual like wizard versus barbarian fight.
Do you think there will ever be a PvP fight in our group?
I'm not sure if Michael is really
Is that allowed?
In favor of non-mind controlled PvP. I think if it was a discussed departure for a character, that would be a really interesting way to have a character leave the party.
Is to die by the
yeah.
party's hands.
Well, or just
Yeah.
Perish.
turn against the party, fight, and escape at the last moment. Like if you look at what happened with the NPCs we had, played by Noah and Tafty Michael, the other Michael. That was definitely a planned potential PvP, but they were guest characters. So, I mean, I can see some struggles there. Like, you know, that slap, which wasn't intended to hurt, would have been not all that far off from what was happening as we were trying to, as Sanash and Percy were trying to sacrifice themselves in the Oblivion. Right?
Right.
Yeah. Where you know, Sanasha was throwing Percy down, and Naoki was using Wild Shape. I mean, those are very like non-damaging moments, but that was like definitely player conflict happening. You know, or if we go back to campaign 2, the time where Casimir used silvery barbs on Zilkifli to stop a fight. you remember the against the,
I do actually, yeah.
The pirate captain, where we were being given a chance to surrender, and Zilkifli kept on fighting, and you know, actually using, I think I used silvery barbs on the party, not as infrequently as I should have in the last campaign, and so I'm glad it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael did revoke our privilege for that.
Yeah.
But that's all right.
I think that Sanasha wants to trust Emmeline, though. And I think it's because what they're doing is important. And there's part of her that I think still sees Emmeline as somebody who hasn't really processed her grief, who has things that she needs to recover from. And it's why she's not ready to fully give up and hope that she's going to turn into the good person she wants her to be. But Sanasha is also naive and probably needs to get over the fact that she expects everyone to be the version of themselves she wants them to be.
I mean, both things could be true, right?
Yeah.
Emmeline could grow and mature and find a way to stabilize her ambition.
Mm-hmm.
And she also may not be the person Sanasha wants her to be.
Yeah, I mean, she's gone away from necromancy, which was something that we've been touching at in the campaign, and we only really revealed on the nameplates recently. How do you feel about Emmeline's, you know, transition from, you know, a necromancer to an evocation wizard, as she still manages to go down a darker path? She's going away for forbidden magic, but is still seeking to be the most powerful version of herself.
It is very interesting because when I was creating her, you know, necromancy was such a big part of her character. I mean, her character design and the things that she enjoyed doing and her career, like really everything surrounded that. So when she died and came back, I mean, narratively, it didn't make any sense for her to want to do that to other people because she's not a psychopath, believe it or not. She does have sympathy and emotions.
Yeah. Well,
but
like the firebolt,
you know,
scene, she had good justification for doing that. She thought she was saving Percy's life.
Yes, and that's when you start to notice, like, okay, she had a reason, but at the same time, people are not expendable, right? Like, let's slow our roll. This is a person, so that you kind of get to see this hopefully complex variation of her. But ultimately, I think the evocation is very interesting. Her having come back in such an almost violent way really allowed her to kind of connect with elements, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I think it's just really interesting to see her grow more powerful with something that she thought she would never be interested in.
Yeah, and is the fact that you had to build the necromancer class, did that come in all into your decision to move to evocation wizard?
I mean, yes and no.
yeah. Just spoilers for the audience. The necromancer, neither the old version or new version exists in the current 2025 Roll20 character sheets. So it was like a base class in D&D 5, but in 5.5 it's not. So they've pulled it. So you had to like custom build every class feature, and you know, most of us would just level up if we own the content.
Right, but I couldn't. So it ends up being
Yeah.
a lot easier for me on the back end, for her being evocation. But narratively, there is also reason.
Yeah, yeah. We're not sponsored by Roll20 or any D&D uh, VTT source. Just
No,
mentioning it. Yeah.
matter of fact, if you are interested, head on over to lichsouls.com,
Yeah.
okay, and check out our super awesome compository of all of our information.
Yeah.
We have our characters. It's growing. It's going to be great. I assume
Yeah.
we'll be able to roll. There's going to be a Wikipedia. It's going
Yeah.
to be great.
I mean, we have the skeleton of a wiki, and we're going to develop it more. But yeah, I think I'm going to give your brain a break for a second, Chloe.
Thank you.
Isaac, we're kind of moving into an interesting moment for Naoki, which is the return of Beans. Into saying, and we've got a lot of shifts in the party. So, what do you think is going to happen with our attempted reunion with Beans? Especially knowing that, you've been potentially warned he might not be able to come along with us by the party.
Yeah, I was definitely warned that he may potentially not be able to come with us, which I feel like would make Naoki very sad. Because that was like one of his friends. He didn't see him as like a pet.
Yeah, no, I mean, the fact that he can communicate telepathically with him, and from what we saw in the Adventures of Beans one shot, which is available on our YouTube channel, as well as on anywhere you find your podcasts. It's not an attempt to plug it, it just was a fun one shot. He has kind of evolved into the protector of the Brone Forest, and has seemingly managed to evolve these other, somehow through his influence, which I'm assuming is likely due to something Naoki did, influence these animals to become actual, like, forces of nature, actual protectors.
Maybe it was like just a little flower that he left with Beans.
Yeah, that flower mutated him. Who knows? Does Naoki have any thought, because you did talk of potentially him maybe one day opening up his own grove? Do you think he would consider, becoming the protector of the Brillin Forest and starting his grove there?
Potentially. I mean, it is like I feel like he would probably make some changes with the grove and make it a little bit more inviting, while still being like a spider forest, although it was kind of tainted by that.
That
I don't quite remember what it's.
Yeah.
The monstrosity. That's kind of why it was like so awful when we first went to it.
Yeah, and there's a witch that lives there too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's kind of interesting, because I was sort of like we're just theorizing. I mean, would Naoki potentially open up a grove that features intelligent animals as well as sentience as well? Because that's one of the things we don't see a lot in the groves. Is we see all of these sentient, species, but we don't see animals inside. For the most part, it's not talked about in great detail.
I think his would definitely be more, since it's a newer grove, he would probably take in whoever he could. Like if I don't know, say like a forest animal, like a spider even, since they are technically an intelligent creature, they may have the aptitude to take up druidry.
Yeah, you can have a bunch of druid spiders. What do you think the chances are that Naoki could convince Emmeline to retire and join a hidden grove there, Chloe?
The chances are pretty low. I'm not going to lie to you. She could be a very frequent visitor, but I foresee a future for her as of right now in the Sanguisian Empire somewhere.
Yeah. And I think we're going to find out more about what Emmeline has planned, because even the audience doesn't know what Emmeline sent through Percy.
That's right.
Yeah, a little bit of a secret. So we are getting near the end of our time, but let's kind of have a little bit of a discussion about one of the things that's kind of looming over our party. How does Naoki find out how to drink in his different wild shapes? That's not the question I was going to ask, but it just came to mind.
Where there's a will, there is a way. He will
Where there's a
figure it
will.
out.
Yeah.
Well, the drunken octopus made a great party trick, that's for sure.
It's so much of a better question than the one I was going to ask, which I'll still ask. How does a hummingbird get drunk?
As a hummingbird, I mean, it's like a flower. They basically have this like little tiny tongue. So they would just like perch on the glass and just kind of like dip their beak in and like sip.
What's his preferred beverage per wild shape?
Well, that's a new one.
I would assume the hummingbird
like-
would like mead.
Yeah, the hummingbird would definitely like sweeter things. As you saw, the octopus likes wine.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to keep seeing, because I feel like each one maybe will have like a different type of alcohol. He has 10 at the moment.
Yeah.
Which wild shape would prefer absinthe?
Abstinence?
Absinthe.
Absinthe.
I would assume his spider.
A spider would do absinthe.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. I was thinking like a bear or something that could handle it. A spider's gonna get obliterated.
Well, it's a giant.
Well, it's a giant spider.
Yeah. He'd be fine. Yeah. So, but sorry. Funny aside for that, I'll let you mull that over now that I put that in your brain for future sessions. So we have another clock ticking down. We have Contras breaking out of his original confinement in one part of the Drownworm area, and now he's able to visit physically and actually physically injured Sanasha. How do you guys think how do you feel about the timeline we have left, and do you think that we're going to be able to stop him? Because we're never entirely sure what's going to happen, and if you think we can't stop him, what do you think we would do next?
That's a tough question.
It's a big
That
question.
is a tough question. I mean, I think we could beat him if we get the right things and the right allies, but if we just went now, obviously we wouldn't.
Yeah.
Man, that's kind of where I land on that. Is it's very conditional, but it's very doable. I believe in us.
Yeah, because there was talk about maybe just waiting for the comet to come and finish the gods off and let that deal with Contras, and is that sort of the backup plan, is to hope that the comet finishes Contras off for us?
Yeah, well, I mean, Sanasha, I'm surprised she didn't throw that in his face, and
Yeah.
I'm surprised that she didn't let him know that his time was limited, because it is limited, and so she's, that she's mature for that, for not.
I think she was definitely throwing it at him, but part of her, even before she became the smartest person in the party, sorry, no, not taking that in, was sort of giving him more free information when he seems to know more than she thought he did. Doesn't seem like the best plan on her end.
No, probably not.
Yeah, so it's sort of, and let's say we'll end this with the theoretical question. So we fail to stop Contras, but he lets us live. And we now live in a world where the comet doesn't magically destroy him, and Contras is now the god of the world. What do you think your character, where would they be in a world where Contras was the god king of Zolna?
Well, I think Emmeline would use the ring that she acquired from Bill, and she would make a wish. I can't tell you what that wish would be, but I think that's what she would do. I don't know about you, Naoki.
Naoki would probably hide out in the groves, since those are the most detached from the gods.
Yeah. I think Sanasha would die in a resistance with Diablo.
That sounds
Probably.
about right. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, yeah. So it's sort of, that's the like grim ending of the party is Emmeline has some backup plan. Naoki has the groves to fall back on, so long as, and the groves are protected from outside influence by the power of the gods, so they could potentially survive, but it doesn't say what would happen if a conventional army attacked them.
I mean, I know for groves, they at least have like three effects that prevent people from coming to them.
Yeah. The tree protects them from the power of the gods. You can only enter the grove if you are with a member of the grove or invited in, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And they're called hidden for a reason, because they are hard to find. It's just sort of like that. There was a Netflix show where they relied on, kind of invisibility, protection from a magical force to protect them, and there is always the possibility when a god gets powerful enough they could find a way around that protection. So sort of this grim alternate future where Contras is slowly eliminating the last bastions of freedom in the world.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Fun.
See, that's the kind of thing I would do. I'd love to do like a dream sequence of, is like, we skip ahead and we play this like grim premonition that Naoki sees of the failed timeline where we don't succeed.
Yeah, that, or we have scheduled one-shots, so I
Yeah.
think that could be a really interesting one-shot as well.
Yeah, Michael, if you're watching this session of Prestige Encounters Beyond the Dice, please consider that as a grim one-shot. There was some hinting that we might be nearing the end of part of an arc, because we do apparently have a one-shot upcoming, so who knows what's coming, because there were definitely some teases, including that bard who knew more than they should.
Definitely.
Yeah, which I find very sus. But we only have a couple minutes left, so we'll just wrap it up early. So thank you both for joining me this evening, and thank you everyone who listens as well for joining us for this week's Prestige Encounters Beyond the Dice. We do again hold this Q&A every week before the Prestige Encounter session at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Lich Souls Gaming. We do welcome viewers to submit their questions through the Prestige Encounters section on lichsouls.com. We love to have your questions. It really helps drive the conversation.
We love questions.
We love questions. We love learning. I will never forget that. But we need to close the session of Prestige Encounters Beyond the Dice. It's time to roll the dice. Bye.
Bye.